Today, we're going on a time travel adventure across 2 decades of tech history, from 2010 all the way to the speculative future of 2030. But we're not just listing tech milestones, we're tracing the mini.com crashes that came and went like fireworks, loud, bright, and sometimes, tragically disappointing. We all know the infamous dot-com bubble of the early 2000s. But what if I told you that same kind of hype-fueled rise and fall happens almost every year, just with different names and technologies? So let's dig into this unofficial timeline of tech's wildest flops, fads, and flameouts. 2010, the real estate techno fever in China. This year marked a turning point in China's urban expansion. Fueled by massive infrastructure projects and real estate tech optimism, entire ghost cities were built with no one to live in them. Tech solutions promised smart grids, automated security, and connected living, but many projects turned out to be speculative investments. People were investing not in innovation, but in hype. The crash was slow and quiet, but painful. 2011, the rise and fall of daily deals. Groupon, Living Social, and a dozen clones were the talk of the town. Everyone loved a deal, until businesses realized the model was killing their margins. Suddenly, it was clear, deep discounts didn't equal customer loyalty, and customer acquisition at a loss wasn't a long-term strategy. Valuations plummeted, and so did investor enthusiasm. 2012, Facebook's awkward IPO. Ah yes, the moment when Facebook went public with a valuation that made everyone's eyebrows shoot into orbit. It was one of the most anticipated IPOs in tech history, and then it stumbled right out of the gate. Technical glitches, confused traders, and a massively overhyped launch caused shares to drop. The world learned that social media clout doesn't always equal Wall Street performance. 2013, Bitcoin's first big boom and bust. Bitcoin hits $1,000 and the world collectively gasps. A decentralized currency? No banks? Sounds great, until the market crashes and MGOX gets hacked, losing hundreds of millions. Welcome to crypto volatility. This was the year Bitcoin became both a punchline and a revolution in the making. 2014, Google Glass, future or flop? Remember those sci-fi looking glasses with a tiny screen in the corner of your eye? Google Glass was hyped as the next leap in personal tech. But it launched too soon, was priced too high, and creeped too many people out. Privacy concerns, lack of usefulness, and the dreaded term, glass hole, killed the dream. It went from cool to cringe in record time. 2015, the unicorn stampede. Theranos was flying high. So was WeWork. So was Uber. This was the year of the unicorn bubble, where any startup with a charismatic founder and a vague promise of disruption could rake in billions. But under the hood? Fraud, broken models, and burn rates that could melt steel. Investors were drunk on potential, and forgot to ask for results. 2016, the VR fizzle. With the Oculus Rift hitting the market, everyone thought VR would explode. Instead, it stumbled. High costs, limited games, and motion sickness made VR feel like more of a tech demo than a revolution. Turns out, you can't sell people on living in virtual worlds when the real world is still pretty fun, and less dizzying. 2017, ICO mania. Initial coin offerings were the new IPO. People were throwing millions at white papers with zero product. Scams ran rampant. Everyone and their dog had a token, including actual joke tokens. Some got rich. Most got wrecked. By early 2018, regulators came knocking and the bubble popped like a champagne cork at a frat party. 2018, the crypto winter. The hangover hit hard. Prices tanked. Projects folded. Scams were exposed. The promise of decentralized everything gave way to the reality of slow adoption and massive security issues. Bitcoin dropped from $20,000 to $3,000, and everyone started saying, "I told you so." 2019, WeWork's identity crisis. If 2015 was the rise of the unicorns, 2019 was their reckoning. WeWork's IPO failed spectacularly. The company that was basically glorified office leasing tried to brand itself as a tech innovator. Investors weren't buying it, literally. The CEO's antics, financial inconsistencies, and cult-like behavior turned this dream into a cautionary tale. 2020, pandemic tech boom, and what followed. Zoom, Shopify, Peloton, they became household names overnight. Stocks surged. Tech was the savior during lockdowns. But once the world reopened, the cracks showed. Peloton bikes turned into expensive laundry racks, and tech valuations started to sink back to earth. 2021, NFTs and the Metaverse craze. People paid millions for pixelated apes. Facebook became Meta. Virtual real estate exploded. But what were people actually doing in the Metaverse? Not much. It was a gold rush without the gold. NFT hype melted down in a stew of environmental concerns, scams, and lack of real utility. 2022, FTX implosion. Imagine trusting your life savings to a guy who plays League of Legends during investor calls. That's basically FTX. The crypto exchange collapsed overnight, wiping out billions. Trust in centralized platforms hit rock bottom. Crypto winter 2.0 began, colder than ever. 2023, AI takes the stage. ChatGPT blew minds. Every startup slapped AI on their landing page. Money flowed like wine at a startup party. The promise? Machines that write, think, and build. But as with every tech hype cycle, not all of it was gold. Some AI tools were just fancy autocomplete with a PR team. Hey, if you've made it this far, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you're into smart takes on tech history, trends, and a dash of humor, this is the channel for you. 2024, the AI backlash begins. Turns out, not everything AI touches turns to profit. Lawsuits over biased models, AI hallucinations, and regulators asking tough questions started cooling things down. Investors realized they bet big, on tools still in beta. 2025, forecast, AI crash 1.0. Expect a lot of startups to quietly shut down. The hype fades. The useful tools remain, but the party's over. It's like waking up and realizing your AI co-founder isn't really that helpful after all. 2026, green tech bubble bursts. Carbon neutral everything. Billions flow into ESG projects. But eventually, the market figures out many of them weren't sustainable, economically or environmentally. Idealism meets accounting. 2027, no code goes nowhere. Everyone has an app idea, but most of them suck. Platforms are oversaturated. Quality becomes the new scarcity. The no-code movement finds itself, out of users. 2028, digital doppelganger drama. AI-generated clones, digital assistants, synthetic voices, they're everywhere. But deepfakes and identity theft spike. Consumers pull back, brands panic, and regulators pounce. 2029, virtual influencer crash. At first, it was fun. AI models posing on beaches, singing pop songs. Then came the fakes, the scams, the lawsuits. Brands realize real humans might be messy, but at least they're accountable. 2030, the Great Trust Recession. After decades of bots, blockchains, and bubbles, people crave authenticity. The next big thing? Maybe it's just being real. So, what do you think? Have we learned anything from these repeating tech bubbles? Or are we doomed to repeat history, just with flashier buzzwords? Let me know in the comments below.